Okay, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you guys are around the world. Welcome to the Childcare Business Growth Podcast. Today, I am very excited to be joined by a good friend of mine, Anders from Family. Hey, Anders, nice to have you here today with us.
Hey, Nick, good to be with you. I'm excited as well.
Thank you for jumping on. We were together, just over a month ago in Miami, not too long ago.
And not bad, I must say. Good conference.
Thank you. It was lovely to have you guys there as well. So tell us, Anders, if you don't mind, just for those that are not aware of you guys, if there is anyone out there that's not aware of you already, tell everyone a little bit about you as a company, first of all, what you do. And then we're going to go into context around talking about artificial intelligence and why it's so important to help teachers. So if you don't mind, give us a quick overview to the company and what you guys do, first of all.
Yeah. So, my name is Anders. I'm the CEO and one of the two founders of Family. We've been 11 years in the making, so been a long road so far, but we feel like we're just getting started. AI, of course, being an important topic that we can bring up. We help nurseries and daycare centers globally reduce time spent on admin and paperwork, and help also with better engagement with parents. So we do that to various different ways, but we sort of cover it all, everything from billing to attendance to staffing to child development and parent engagement and a few other bits and bobs. So and right now we support more than 7,000 centers globally, and almost 1 million users are on the Family platform every day.
That's awesome. And you guys have grown pretty rapidly over a short period, didn't you? At one point, you guys were growing really well. Now you've moved into the US market and you're getting a really nice, client base in the US too. So we obviously started working with you guys a while back through our childcare centers. You actually acquired, I believe, at the time, one of the companies we were working with. And then as a result of that, you guys have grown dramatically. And we've seen amazing things that you guys are having a dramatic impact on early education business all over the world now with your amazing software. You create a lot of great content as well, don't you guys, out there for, blog articles, different ways to help people. Should we just touch on that?
Helping. So where we can help, we'll try to do that. And that's one part to our software, but also, how can we help the sector in other ways through content or through even talking to local authorities and governments and see what we can do to kind of up the respect of early education.
Love that. So today we're going to talk specifically about AI and how it can actually help teachers. So do you mind giving us a bit of context, first of all, around why you think AI is so important for centers and most importantly, teachers, if you don't mind?
Yeah, I think AI is one of those things that we probably all have heard about, and there's a lot of buzzwords going around as well. So I think it's important to get the right thing out of AI and use it for the right stuff. So that's something we've spent a lot of time on considering how do we best make use of AI. I think AI is going to be one of those things that we look back on, as big as when the internet came, or when we started hosting software in the browser or in the cloud. So I think it's going to be one of those monumental changes that we're going to look back on. And I don't think we still know exactly where is AI heading and what is it going to mean. What we believe in Family is that we use AI to support humans. So in the sector, it's so important that we're not there to take over from teachers or directors or managers and admins. We're there to support them, do their job better and faster, so they can get back to what really matters, which is the children in our sector. So we believe, AI can do a lot of things. It has to be used in the right way. There has to be a human in the mix as well. So that's how we think about AI.
Love that. And so essentially we're talking about here, AI is important to buy back time. Do you still feel there's a lot of people scared around AI in the sector? Do you still find that a lot right now?
Yeah, well, we see, again, we don't necessarily in the sector focusing on calling it AI because, I think there are industries where that's a buzzword and you need to call it AI. For us, we see it as just another way to help and to help teachers and the front line, again, as I said, do better, save time or up the quality of their work. Make them more confident, for example, is one of the ways that we're trying to do it. And with helping with writing is one of the things that Family is focused on. So we don't necessarily see it as, we just need to embed AI. We need to find ways that we can help. And one of our ways that we've said that we want to be in Family is really to be first movers. We want to be innovative. So we're not afraid to invest in new technologies if it can help our customers. So we actually are taking bets, even though we don't know exactly where it's heading and how it can help. We're not afraid to experiment and see how can we find new ways, and AI being one of them, to help our customers. So it's an area we invest quite a bit in.
Love that. So essentially what you guys are doing here, let's give everyone a bit of context to a new part or new tool that's within inside your system. Is that correct?
Yeah. So we've recently launched a tool that we call Sidekick. And funnily enough, the reason why we call it Sidekick is also because we believe the teachers are the superheroes, and the sidekick is just there to assist and make them better. So I think that's also signaling from our part that we want the AI to help. Like, we don't want to replace the superheroes that are already working in the sector. So, but how can we make them better? So we launched Sidekick earlier this year, and that's already been used a million times now to help teachers. And the way that it works in family at the moment, so this is our first little iteration of embedding AI into family, is when you write an update to a parent, or it could be a newsfeed post, it could be a message, you can actually ask the AI to correct your spelling and grammar, to make it more professional, or hit a certain tone. And what we've seen that is really helping teachers, also teachers that are not used to communicating with parents, teachers that are not confident in their writing, maybe even teachers with dyslexia, to write better and be more confident, and also speed up their work. And also sometimes avoiding these like review processes that, hey, we as a manager or as a director need to review everything that goes out. They're much more confident now that they have a tool that can assist them right then and there and speed up their work. So yeah, it's been really, really, I think it's been more widely used than we thought. And it's been better received than we thought. And again, as I said, this is just our first little iteration of using AI in family.
That's interesting. You said that it's more widely used than you thought. Is that because you feel that it is such a big thing that people want to buy more time back, that they just want to get more hands-on with the children, they want to interact more, they don't want to spend so much time creating, those observation records, they don't want to spend so much time writing all that side up, that it's just about, let's get this done, use a great tool with Inside Family, buy ourselves more time back. And as you said, I love the fact that you don't need to get the approval as such from managers or directors anymore, because you should have the confidence in the platform, in the tool itself, to actually address all those things that might have been spelling mistakes in the past.
Yeah. For us, it's all about, buying back time, and funnily enough, family, we think of it like it's a little opposed to how other people think, about apps and software. Like, we actually think, how can we make teachers and admins spend as little time on family as possible, get their work done, but then get back to what really matters. It's not about, a teacher having a tablet in the hand at all times. Like, we want them to use family as little as possible. So whatever we can do, we know there's work to do, there's paperwork to be done, there's admin to be done, and you need to engage with parents. That has a huge benefit, but we want to spend as little time on it as possible. And this is one way to kind of go about that.
I love that. So is there any particular examples you can say where, you've seen how someone's used it really well within their center? Is there anything that's come out from what you've done so far?
I've just heard some, amazing stories. Sorry, the light goes out here. I've just heard some amazing stories from teachers that didn't used to write parents. They didn't have the confidence to write parents, right? And I think that's very heartwarming, where you have some that suddenly have gotten the confidence because their spelling was not okay. Maybe it's English as a second language, but now they have, a little helper that can help them be more confident at writing. And I think that's just amazing. And we didn't necessarily expect that, right? We thought, hey, let's try to do this. Let's see how people use it. And then we got all these stories back of how it's helped people that didn't even used to write to parents or communicate internally, that are now have that confidence. And I think that's just super heartwarming. That's also part of why, of course I'm biased, but why I love working at family and all the good things that we can do to help out there.
I love that. So I actually heard an example recently. There was an owner was talking to me about this, and they were telling me specifically about how they hated things going out to parents with spelling mistakes on, and it was a big problem. But the problem was, and they knew it, they openly told me that they knew that it was actually making their staff feel really paranoid and worried about what they were putting out. And they didn't like micromanaging what was being sent out. And as you've just highlighted, actually, the example she gave was that she saw that the volume of communication was dropping with parents because they weren't using, they didn't have that confidence anymore. So I love the idea of this. I love the slide that you're talking about, that it's giving more It's given them more communication, less time on the app, etc. So how do people find out about this? Is this something that is part of the demonstration with family? Tell me a little bit about how they can find out a little bit more about whether they've used family or not, or is this something as a separate tool? Is it all integrated as part of the software?
Yeah, so it's like we've decided to build it into the software, but I think that's most important. You can use ChatGPT and other kind of AI tools sort of on the side, but I think where you really the real time saver is when it's embedded into your workflow. So we believe a lot that it needs to be included. It needs to be available inside family. So again, it's an embedded part of family, so not something separate. It's built into workflows, and we also working now building it into more and more places. So we think there are more places where AI can help. We need to be very careful, of course, as I said, not taking over for teachers and they still do their job, but wherever we can support them. So one thing that we're looking at a lot at the moment is learning, the learning area. So how can we support in the learning area? How can we support, based on state framework or frameworks in the country? How can we support teachers build even personalized lesson planning with AI, and make sure that we adhere to the standards and where the child are on their journey, and support them and come up with suggestions for what they can do in the classroom. And I think there's just so many ways to because we see teacher inspiration is one of the kind of top things. We already have this activity library in family where teachers can find and share activities across the globe with other centers and nurseries, and I think here they get a chance for generating unique stuff that they can do with the children, that adheres to certain learning standards, or maybe even certain pedagogies that they use. So I think there's just so much exciting stuff that we can do, but we also were aware that we have to be careful, especially when going to learning. So we work together with experts in the sector, so child development experts, to make sure also that whatever we do is sound. We don't want to do anything that's not okay. So that's very important. That the safe use of AI, so to say, is very important to us.
I love that. I didn't realize you had that global library of other lessons that were shared. I love that. I think that's amazing.
Quite funny. If you're a nursery in the UK, you can see what the Americans are up to, or what they're doing in Germany, and I think that's quite exciting as well.
Oh, I love that. I think that's amazing. Yeah. How far, if we're talking one side of the world to the other, how far are you guys now reaching with family or users of family?
So we have customers in 15 different countries or so, right from Asia to Europe to North America. But we sort of have three core markets that we focus on. The UK, which is sort of our biggest market and where we've grown a lot. Germany, we have quite a bit of focus on, and a lot of stuff happening there in digitalization. And then the US, where I sit myself right now, which is an interesting, of course, market and a big market for us. So yeah, super, super interesting. And I think what we like is also to see how we bring innovation from one market to the other. We get that global view. So that gives us a lot of insight into how childcare operates globally and what are the differences, what are the good parts and the bad parts across the globe. And we try to bring the best to each country. So it's quite funny. We're one of the only ones that have that kind of global view of childcare and how things operate differently.
I do love that, because it's one of the big beliefs that we have with CBG as well, is that, there are different countries that are doing different things, and the fact of bringing people together as a community. And you see, for example, New Zealand are 3-4 years ahead in terms of curriculum for early education. And it's nice to see those things and give people from other countries the opportunity to see that too. So I love that you guys have that feature. Just, if we don't mind, and I know I didn't plan to ask you this, but tell us that obviously that's one amazing feature you guys have as part of family. Is there anything else that kind of separates what you guys do as a platform over any others that you would say is a really great feature? Obviously, you've built in now this Sidekick. You've got obviously the global library. Anything else that you find is a really great resource within family as well?
I think in general we focus on a few different bits. Like, again, as I said, saving time is hugely important for us. So whatever we can do to automate, whether it's automate your billing, automate some of your admin, or even, again, offload some of it to parents that can do it directly and you can review it. I think those are some of the things that we focus on. But I think some of the unique things about family is that we're very user friendly, so easy to pick up. I think that's very important. We don't have time in this sector, so extremely important that it's easy to learn, easy to pick up, but still go quite deep, so you can customize it to your needs. Because I think what we also see now, working with 7,000 nurseries and daycares globally, is that things are run differently, right? Even within a country, things are run differently, and everyone does it their way. So be able to customize it to your needs and to your specific needs, I think is quite important. And so we spend a lot of time on doing that, and making that simple is not necessarily easy. So you want that customizability element. And then I think something that sets us apart as well is like you can run everything from your phone. So we believe directors, managers, for example, are often on the move. We saw that during COVID. We see that still now, that you're not always sitting in front of your computer at the center. So being able to run everything from your cell phone, and do everything in family. So whether it's run your billing or whether it's engage parents, you can do everything from your phone. And I think that's quite unique. And we believe that from the beginning, but I still believe that's the future. You don't want to be tied to a computer, and you want to check in with your nursery or your center when you're on the move as well.
I love that. Let me ask you one last question I didn't plan to ask, but I think it's important. There's a lot of people that I find are on the fence about bringing in a platform like with like family. At what point do you recommend? Is it more a particular size? Is it in a particular stage of development as a business? What's your beliefs or values around family? At what point do you think someone should bring a software like family in?
I think, again, I'm totally biased, so but I think there is a value. So we got everything from your small center, so with 20 kids, up to we serve customers up to 300 locations as well, across multiple geographies. So we believe it has value, at all stages. Of course, there's different functionality that is needed more, when you grow, when you have a bigger nursery or center, so when you have 100 or 200 kids, you need a lot of this automation. You can't do everything manually. Whereas for a smaller center, I think it's just as important that you can engage with parents, that you can do some of the admin work in a structured way. That's still going to save you time. It might not save you, 10, 20 hours a week like it does for some big centers, but it still save you hours every week. And that engagement, and especially with the modern parent coming into the workforce, the parents that have grown up with technology and Facebook and WhatsApp and TikTok and all these things, they have a different expectation level. So to cater to that expectation level, it also reduces tension between parents, reduce conflicts with the parents when they are up to date and they got. And I think one of the things that we saw quite early on with family that again also came a little bit as a surprise to us is that it ups the respect for the teacher. So the teacher sharing these updates with parents, whether that's a picture, whether it's a little update of what's been going on, whether that's an observation, that actually dramatically increases, the parent respect for the teacher. And it ups the conversation quality. When you go down, you pick up your kid, you have a different kind of conversation with the teacher or your child at home when you sit at the dinner table and you ask them what they've been up to today, and they're like, no, we didn't do anything. And you can pull up a few pictures and you can talk about them. And I think that has value whether you were small or large center. So I think, again, not all functionality makes sense for everyone, and that's also why we kind of have different offerings. But there is value in having something digitally, and it's by no means because the what I hear often or sometimes still is like, we don't want to replace the face-to-face communication with parents, right? And I think it's important for me that like you're going to take that conversation to a higher level instead of talking about did you change the diaper today or how do they sleep? You already know that as a parent. You can take the conversation to a higher level when you pick up or drop off, and I think that to me is important. So you're not taking away the face-to-face, but you don't have the same questions that you have to ask a teacher. How did you sleep? Or did anything happen in the diaper today or the nappy?
No, it's actually a really interesting point.
High level.
One of the things we used to find a lot with our particular centers, you have your morning staff, you have your evening staff, and something amazing might have happened with our child in the morning, and sometimes doesn't get relayed to those staff that are working later on where the parents will be collecting from the evening time. So, I truly believe, I have this a lot with my children. What did you get up to today? And they can't remember anything, but they remember what they had for food. We have that a lot, but I love the fact of the photos and that communication you can see, and you can go back and remind them, and you've got that reference point. So the point I was trying to get to really with that question was around, we get a lot of home-based centers as well talking to us, or brand new startups. Do you feel that even if you can accommodate your home-based center, that there's still usage opportunities in this, or do you feel that it's only as soon as you get maybe 20 plus? Is it that point you feel that it's even more beneficial?
I think we also got your childminder or your home-based center on family. That's not a core focus, and we're very kind of clear about that. That's not a core focus of family. We believe, in eventually being able to serve them even better.
Okay.
But we also believe in focus. So right now, our focus is sort of from the small center and up, you can say. We do have childminders, we do have home daycares on the platform as well, but it's not a core focus of ours. But there's still value definitely in communication and up in communication with parents. But you also get to a certain size where sometimes they make do with a WhatsApp group, but kind of having everything in one place and involving the parents in the way you can do with a tool like Family. There's some value in whether you have 4 kids or whether you have 200 kids, for sure.
Love that. And I'm super grateful for you jumping on today and sharing that. So if people want to find out a little bit more about Family, what is the best place for them to go? Is there like a demo? What would you recommend they do next?
Yeah, what we usually see our customers do, or people do, is to jump on our website, like so family.co, and that's family without an I. So it can be a little tricky, but famly.co. And there you'll be able to see lots more about the product, reviews from customers that are already using us. And then I think the best way is to get a demo. So press that get demo button, and then you can get a little tour. We'll give you a guided tour, so a live guided tour. So you'll have an actual person you can talk to, ask questions if there's any words that you have or anything you want to see. So that's usually the best way to go about it, to have a talk with one of our product experts that can walk you through.
So guys, you've heard it from Anders. Go and check out Family. It's a great platform. As I said, we've used it in our centers as well. It's a great platform to use. Make sure you go and check them out. Anders, I'm super grateful for you jumping on. I would love to do a follow-up in the future around, the use of using a platform like this and all the different beneficial uses of using it. So hopefully we can touch base again soon and check in and do.
Yeah, and I know. We'd love to do that, Nick. And I know you also, a big fan of using AI in the right way and to help. So I've seen some of your talks on that as well. So yeah, I always enjoyed that. And I think there's so many ways to, reduce paperwork and admin. So and I know you got a lot of tips and tricks up your sleeve as well.
Yeah, we got a great presentation coming up at the Shift conference very soon. So looking forward to that one coming up as well. Anders, I'm super grateful for you jumping on. Guys, make sure you show some love and appreciation down in the comments as well, whether you're watching this live or you're watching the replay. And Anders, I look forward to catching up with you again, hopefully